Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Welcome back to another episode of the Justin Dunning Podcast. This is your host, Justin Dunning. With me today, I have the honorary guest, Nicholas of House Starkel. Nicholas, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
You watch Game of Thrones, right?
I watched 2 seasons, and then I took a too long of a break, and I never got back into it.
Bro, I've told people like that like 3 times, and they keep saying, dude, that's blasphemy. It's the greatest show of all time, supposedly.
There's too many names and houses and everything to keep up with if you take a break.
That's awesome. But glad to have you on, man. You've been you're one of the players who's been more supportive of this whole thing I've started over here, the whole podcast, and I really appreciate that, man.
Oh yeah. It's really cool to see, guys that, we're in our realm, stuff branching out and being able to do other things in the world and seeing the truth behind like being more than a football player. I'm really big on that.
Absolutely, man. And so I obviously have a lot of respect for you as a player and even as a man off the field. And one of the biggest things I want to talk about today is kind of your leadership role and what leadership is in general to you. And so, before I get into that, let me flash back to, kind of a time where I saw you emerge as a leader. And I'm going to ask you, even though I know you remember, but do you remember when we did the program?
How could I forget that? You can't forget that right there.
Oh, man. Really a tough so I don't even know how to explain it, but so the program for the people who are listening, this was, it had to be April, May. It was kind of before summer, right? 2017. This was whenever Coach Summer was here. They brought in some guys, Navy SEAL kind of military type guys, and they basically ran through what they called was a process for building better leaders and better teammates and stuff like that. Really just a weird situation to go through. And so, like, the first day of the program is like they're doing all these team building activities. They have, it's like a bunch of small things that you do that are not normally hard, but they try to make it difficult.
Like the 14 perfect minutes.
Yeah.
You got to if you get it right, it's only 14 minutes of push-ups, sit-ups, and holding planks and stuff. But obviously, you don't get it right the first 14 minutes, so you have to do it for about an hour.
Right. Exactly. Well, so were you there the year before we did it in the indoor?
No. That was right before I got here.
Okay,
You guys had the House of Pain.
The House of Pain. That's the name, bro. That doesn't even sound fun. But anyway, so last year, when we're doing it, we were over kind of by the airport.
Yeah, I don't even know. It was a training facility for something.
It's like an abandoned bunker.
It was. It was.
And so, like, the first day we're doing like all these obstacle courses and stuff, and like trying to become better teammates and team leaders and whatnot. We're out there from probably like 5 in the afternoon to like 11 at night.
Real late.
Yeah, real late. And then the next morning we're up at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so we had to be up there so early that Eric McCoy and I actually slept in the locker room that night.
Really?
And they cut off the AC. I guess at midnight it cuts off. And so from midnight to 3:45 when our alarms went off, we were still sweating the entire time. And everyone's like muddy shoes and stuff are in there with us. And so it smells awful. And I just kept waking up and be like, Eric, you good? It's like, yeah.
Bro, the worst part of that second day, though, when we freaking woke up and they're out there doing the whole presentation. Good morning. No matter of fact, it's a great morning, fellas. Great morning to be alive. Freaking military guy. And we're out there freaking bear crawling under the freaking the barbed wire or whatever it was.
They're spraying us with that hose.
Bro, and the worst part to me, they're freaking ants. We're like, I was in the ant pile. Ants biting me. I'm crawling through rocks. Rocks are scraping on my elbows and knees.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I just remember being like, oh my God, this is miserable. This is probably one of the worst experiences I had playing football. And a lot of people, they think it's like all, lovey-dovey and it's the season and it's game day. But during the off season, we're in that grind.
Dude, it is a grind.
It is a grind for real. And the purpose of me bringing this story up though is during that whole process when I was like, man, Coach Sumlin is tripping. Like, this is not for me. I'm not trying to do this. You were one of the guys who I thought emerged and really kind of stepped up. And even though it sucked, because it did suck, I know I could see it on everybody's faces. You were one of the guys who I thought stepped up and did a good job of being a leader in that circumstance and telling guys to come on and bring things together. And I know that time period for you, you were trying to become more of a leader and step up to the opportunity. What was that experience like for you during the program?
The program honestly made me see leadership in a different way. Okay. I always thought a leader has to be the guy in the front, always showing someone how to do it rather than telling someone how to do it. And one of the first obstacles we had to do was we had to get our team over, it was a hypothetical bridge situation that you had to get over a bridge and you had like a rope and you had to get a body over the bridge on this stretcher and you couldn't tilt the stretcher to make them fall off or anything. You couldn't throw it across. And the whole time I'm trying to do everything and grab everything. And the guys on the program said, hey, back up. you're not allowed to be in this. You can just instruct people what to do. And while they're doing it, you can't tell them differently. So make sure you're clear with your directions and your communication and everything,
Right.
so that you can lead them in a way that they're going to be able to do it and not have to rely on you every single step of the way.
Right.
And it kind of made me think like, dang,
That's
my
symbolic.
whole life I've been trying to do it, like be the first one, show them how
Right.
it's done, and they made me kind of see it a different way. And so that was really a great opportunity for me just to learn from all those guys.
Right.
And I really,
And those dudes were phenomenal. They were
Yeah.
cool. They treated us really well. I mean, not physically, but
No,
like they treated us well with hospitality and whatnot. Thank you so much.
right.
And yeah, it was just a really cool situation. I thought, that was kind of your circumstance or your situation whenever you stepped up and finally became that leader for the program. And now, I mean, kind of where you are now, a lot of guys respect you. And even though, you're not currently the starter, you're a leader off the field for this program. And, guys in the locker room, you're a guy they look towards. And I mean, I applaud that personally. And I mean, just kind of talk to me about what has that been like for you? Kind of flash back a little bit. I want to hear a story about last year. You came in, the starter for game 1. You go out there, you're playing, having a hell of a game, and you get hurt. What was that process like for you, getting hurt and then coming back?
Yeah. I'd say before I got hurt, I was in a place where like my whole kind of life and identity was in football, and it was just football.
Right.
And this is everything I've worked for. I earned this job, I'm a starter now. Now it's my time. I can finally get going. And then going down, I just remember I was in like this X-ray room underneath the Rose Bowl.
Right.
And they just told me, hey, you broke your ankle. You're getting surgery tomorrow morning. You're going to be out probably 8-9 weeks, maybe the whole season. Like, that's it. And I remember they left me in the room. They're like, we're going to give you a couple minutes. And I was verbally, like, out loud, I was like, man, like, why, God? Why me? Why? Like, what did I do to earn this? Like, I just earned that spot. And I was in a place where I was just kind of blaming everyone, blaming the world, blaming God for, putting me in that situation. And then really God took that time of my life, and through the recovery, through being patient and the waiting and consistency of showing up every day and having to get back on rehab, everything. Like you've been through it before.
Absolutely.
Going through rehab is a struggle. You don't want to do that every day.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Because you're like, I'm 8 weeks away from playing, or sometimes I'm 6 months away from playing.
Right.
Why does it matter if I do this to the best of my ability right now? Like
Right.
They're not even talking about playing yet. Like I can't even walk. And so
gotta relearn how to walk it.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's so much that goes in there that people don't really understand. You have to teach yourself how to walk again.
Exactly.
That's freaking ridiculous.
And so going through that just was I was in a really vulnerable place, and I think God just helped shape my identity. And so I found my identity in Him, and I think this year it made it to where when I got the news, hey, Kellen's going to be the starter, it didn't shake my identity like that injury did.
Right.
Because I knew, hey, you know what? Like, God's got a hold of me. I've seen what He did to me last year, and I see what He's going to, do through me this year. And, like, I have faith that it's all going to work out. And so it didn't hit me as hard. I mean, as a competitor and as a football player,
absolutely,
it killed me. But as a human and, like, who I am, it was like, all right, like, I'll brush it off, and I'm going to use it as something that drives me. And something that I never forget. I'll never forget that day that I found out that I wasn't the starter anymore.
Right. And that's big, man. I think that this is complete honesty, you're one of the more well-rounded guys I've been around in terms of actually having an identity outside of just sports. And it's hard to not be completely consumed in it, because, that's kind of what's required at this level. And they're asking for you to come out there and be, the next big thing. You have to put so much time into it. It's hard to kind of step back and look at other things. But here's a big question that I asked a lot of guys. What are you passionate about outside of football?
Yeah, I'm really passionate about like coaching. I definitely think that I'm going to be a coach.
I can see that. That's dope.
All the times that we have like our little kids camps here, or even the high school camps.
You're out there going hard.
I'm always out there going hard. Like,
yeah,
I'm always competing with those guys. I'm showing them how to do it just a little bit better, because I love to see what coaches can do to a kid's life. Because I've been in situations where I've had a coach who's made it to where I don't want to play football, a sport that I loved, a sport that I grew up like only wanting to do. I've had a coach that's made my love for the game go away. But I've also had coaches who have spoken like so much life into me and helped me develop myself into the man that I am today.
Right.
So it's like I want to go be that guy for someone. I don't ever want to have a kid say, man, Coach Starkel made me hate football. I'm quitting.
I'm about to quit, yeah.
And I saw that with so many of my friends, with some of the coaches that we had in high school and middle school, and I was like, that's just awful that you're going to let a coach determine, your love for a game. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I think that I really want to coach. I'm attracted to that.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because I haven't even thought about that, but there was definitely, I had some coaches when I played different sports. I just like, man, I hate this, bro. Like I just run on the summer track team, and I'm like, bro, this is ridiculous. I don't want to do this anymore, And then I also have coaches on the flip side that have really, really been impactful. And, for example, in my life, I didn't have a father, and he wasn't in my life for a large time period. And I had some coaches who really came and provided for me. And even, being on the field and off the field, they did things like, give me rides to practice and stuff like that. Or it was just really, really impactful. And I got to see that they made a huge impact on my life. And I think that's a profession, and it's a position where you can impact a lot of people and change them for the better. I think that's what we're all searching for. I think
for sure.
With football, we have that platform and we have the ability to reach a lot of people. But I think, even coaching, you can touch people more personally, and that's definitely big, man. Cool, though. So let me move on. I got to ask you a couple questions that were sent in to the Justin Dunning podcast page. By the way, you guys, if you're watching this video, be sure to leave a comment about anything you'd like to hear discussed on the show or any show in the future. But a couple comments that were left. One guy wants to know, this was on the Twitter page, he said, how does weather affect play calling for the offense?
Honestly, if you think about it, rainy weather, I'm assuming he's talking about rainy or cold weather. Cold weather, I mean, they're still going to call all the passes and everything. Just warm your hands up on the sideline or wear a hand warmer. But I'm assuming he's talking about rain. And if you think about the game of football, offensively, when it's raining, we're at an advantage.
Right.
We know exactly where we're going on a play. A receiver knows if I'm breaking a 12-yard curl off and it's raining hard and the field's slick, I got to start breaking down at 10.
Okay.
A DB has to react to that.
Right. Defense
is more of a react, like a read and react type of thing.
I agree.
Offense, you have a set rule, like, hey, if he's pressed, I'm running a fade. If he's off, I'm going to run that hitch. And so you know exactly what you're doing and where you're cutting, stuff like that. So strategically, it actually helps the offense when it's raining. If you look at it that way.
Yeah, that's a unique perspective, because I would say on the defense that I feel like we could be more aggressive when it's raining, because I feel like teams sometimes they don't want to. Well, I'm talking about
conservative in the play calling, right?
And that's if it's. I'm talking about just like pouring down,
torrential downpour.
Now if it's a little bit of sprinkle, that's nothing at all. But I think when it's pouring down, I feel like we can be aggressive. Go out there and attack the QB, get him on the ground, things like that.
I think it was the LSU Tennessee game. Was it last year where it was like
pouring?
Yeah, you couldn't even see across the field because it was raining so hard. That type of game, that definitely is going to affect the play calling. I mean, that's going to affect it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think you could throw a bubble in that weather.
Right.
Like, that's a whole different story.
Have you played any of those games, like in high school or anything?
In high school, there was a week. I was a senior in high school, and there was a weekend where everyone's games across Texas were getting canceled because of rain.
Right.
Like, everyone's games. And we were playing in UNT Stadium.
Okay.
Which is a big deal for us, small private town, private school kids.
Okay.
And it was our one game that we had that wasn't like a home or away game. It was like in UNT Stadium, right up the road. We were pumped for it. And everyone's game's getting canceled because of these lightning storms and stuff like that.
Right.
It's pouring down rain. We get out there. They cut pregame short because we got to get this game started. They cut pregame short.
Yeah.
And it is like the hardest rain I've ever tried to play in. First play of the game, our coach calls a dig and a post route.
Right.
And we knew we'd probably going to have the post. So pouring down rain, first play of the game, I threw a touchdown to the post. One of my best receivers. You can check tape if you don't believe me. and we honestly strived in the rain. Like, guys are making one-hand catches because they take off. You got to take off your gloves.
Yeah.
But it was awful in terms of the weather, but we were playing our best. We go in for halftime. They cut halftime to 5 minutes. It was like a quarter break. They cut halftime to 5 minutes, and
in and out.
We go out there and it stops raining, and our offense stalls. We cannot get anything going.
Really?
Like, guys aren't getting open. We're dropping the ball now. Like, we can't run the ball. I had a fumble, and like,
really,
yeah, we ended up losing that game.
What?
I don't think we scored a point in the fourth quarter. We scored. I think, first drive coming out of the half, but we didn't. I don't think we scored a point in the fourth quarter. And they were a team that was running the ball the entire game. Wildcat quarterback, because it was raining, so they never switched their quarterback, and they just kept with the Wildcat.
Right.
And they ended up beating us. But
so they ran the ball with Wildcat quarterback the whole game, and y'all couldn't stop.
And we couldn't stop.
Oh man, that is unfortunate, man. All right, next question. This is kind of a two-part question. I'm gonna weigh in on this one as well. Comment left on the YouTube video wants to know, who is the weirdest guy that you have played with, either currently or in the past? And before you answer that, let me just there's some odd characters on this football team. I think, I played with a lot of weird guys. Not so much in high school, but when I got here, I feel like Coach Sumlin recruited some weird guys. For example, and you can second me on this one. There's a brother by the name of Keith Ford, who has to be one of the weirdest brothers to walk through the Bryan College Station area.
I agree.
I remember a conversation one time. I mean, Keith Ford, cool dude, cool dude. Just kind of an oddball. Anyone who's met him probably knows that. There was a conversation we had one time, and he walked up to me. He was arguing with somebody across the locker room, and he wanted me to back him up or kind of be in his corner. He came up to me, and he was like, "Look, bro, this is how you talk to, bro. First off, they don't believe in global warming, bro." And I'm like, okay, hold on. Pause. I might be on your side, the global warming thing. Some people are, in or they're out. I was like, okay, hold on. So continue. He said, I'm telling them, bro, the only way that we can stop global warming is another Cold War, bro. I said, first off, brother, do you know what the Cold War was? This man said the only way you can stop global warming is another Cold War. I promise you, he said that. You can ask Otaro Alaga. He will defend me. Keith Ford told me the only way you can stop global warming is a Cold War. And I was like, bro, what is...
I mean, it makes sense if you don't think about it. It makes sense if you don't think about it.
If you don't think about it, yes, that was his problem. He wasn't thinking about it. But, I mean, definitely the weirdest guy I've been around. Who is the weirdest guy you've been around or that's currently on the team right now?
I'm going to go with currently on the team. Mm-hmm. And it's not a guy, it's a group of guys.
Okay.
It's the specialists.
Oh, those dudes.
You had one on the show, Braden. Braden's normal.
Braden's
normal sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he gets around his guys,
the specialists, you never know what they're doing. What are they doing during practice?
Yo, that is so true. I feel like when new specialists come in, they adopt the mentality of the whole group. And so it's just like the specialists are just a group of oddballs. It's just, did you see whenever they took over the A&M football Snapchat?
I did, and I called them and I was like, "You guys need to stop. You guys need to stop this. This is not a good look."
Oh man, that's funny, man. That is awesome. All right, man. So those are the two questions. Moving on to a different topic. It's kind of a more serious topic. Kind of flashing back to leadership. What is your definition of leadership? And I know it's kind of a word that has many definitions, obviously. I got a minor in it, and I don't really know how to define what it is. But what do you think is the biggest facet or the biggest thing that goes into leadership?
For me, I think I'm also an A-Led major, so I've gone through all the courses and stuff in a couple right now. But personally, for me, I would say that it's someone who sticks to their word and someone who is a person that they're telling others to be. Because if you're not going to be what you're talking about, then I don't think anyone wants to follow you. No one wants to follow a leader that says, "Do as I say, not as I do." You just lose credibility when you do that. And so when I try to lead, I don't ever want to be a hypocrite and tell someone, "Do this," whenever I'm not doing it. And so for me, it's a big, the idea of servant leadership, serving your teammates.
Right.
By giving it your all, or by doing every rep, or doing extra reps, stuff like that. I think that's the best way you can be a leader on a college football team, and then that's just my definition as well.
So my big question for you is, who are your roommates right now?
So I live with a couple people right now. Bo Schneider, Connor Blumrick.
But you're no longer living with Tyrell and KK?
No, I do. So We have a big house. We have 6 people in our house.
Okay.
My friend Dylan from high school also lives there. But on the top floor, it's me, Dylan, Ikeno KK, and one Tyrell Dodson.
Oh, Tyrell Dodson. I mean, those are 2 characters.
Great guys.
Great guys. Bad, but serious question though. So, I mean, KK had the injury during fall camp. That had to be disappointing. Mm-hmm. Have you kind of helped him through that process, or give him any advice through the process?
Yeah, we've had a couple of talks and stuff, and KK is not one to get sentimental at all. If you know him, and I mean you know him, but he's not really one to get sentimental. But we did have a pretty serious talk, and he was just struggling with the fact that they're telling him, you can look forward to spring ball, you can look forward to summer workouts or spring workouts, and he's like, man, that is the worst part about this whole thing. Like, you're telling me I get to look forward to that, and I feel like he was at a place where he was getting on the field this year. I mean, I'm pretty sure him and Anthony Hines were leading the team in tackles in the spring game.
Right.
I mean, he's making plays, ball spilling his way, and he's making those plays. I was really excited to see him go, and then him going down and Hines going down. That was those are 2 big parts of our team that could definitely be helping us without a doubt right now.
Absolutely.
And I know that he's kind of upset about that, but he's getting through it.
My question: How is he living? He's living good off the field.
He's living pretty good. He's living pretty good.
Okay, he has a good lifestyle.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay,
he's a great guy.
I mean, listen, I wasn't gonna bring it up because I didn't even think that it was an issue. I didn't. I heard it, but I wasn't gonna address it. But I have to bring it up now. Guys have kind of said that they spotted him in downtown Bryan with the notorious TD Moden. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I mean, they say he's been out there quite frequently. Do you have any? What do you have to say about that?
I believe it was actually the Church's Chicken.
Church's Chicken. Right
Behind the Church's Chicken. I think, that's a common spot for those 2 to go. Go get some food out there.
Right.
Meet up with some locals.
Couple natives.
Yeah, just a couple natives. So
it is true. Absolutely true.
100%.
Absolutely, man. Okay, man. Let's move on. Quick question for you. This was kind of a funny one I seen on Twitter last weekend. People were kind of had double-sided opinions on it. I want you to kind of weigh in on it because it involves you. Okay, so after the Mississippi State loss, a couple guys saw you smiling and talking to their quarterback Nick Fitzgerald, who had just destroyed us for the 3rd year in a row. Man, some people hated it. Some people didn't see a problem with it. What was it?
I mean, Nick and I have been roommates at this quarterback retreat camp for 2 years now. I've known him for probably 3 years. Mm-hmm. We follow each other. We message each other all the time on Twitter and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we're talking, and I was like, hey, man, like, good game. Wasn't smiling when I said that.
Right.
I was like, man, like 3 years in a row, getting tired of this. Thankfully, he's gone. I was like, glad you're gone now. And his backup's standing right there, and he's like, well, I'm still here. And I was like, all right, can't wait to play you.
Right.
And then we were just kind of just talking about that, and I wasn't smiling during that. And then Nick goes, well, hey, we still get to go to L.A. this year for the QB camp. And I'm like, I'm going to be 21 now, and we're going to be in L.A.
Okay.
And so I was like, maybe we can have some fun.
Okay.
And so we dapped it up, and I was –
okay. And that's when you laughed.
And that's when I was kind of laughing. And
so it was just like a split-second laugh. They got the picture, and they kind of put it over the whole situation.
Walked off the field without a smile. Right. Walked into the locker room.
Yeah, because people were talking about you were just laughing as soon as the game hit 0. That's what they were saying.
No.
I was like, no, that's not.
If you catch me, though, at any time in a game, like I'm probably smiling.
Right.
Doing something I love. I'm sorry if I smile.
That's true.
I mean, it sucks to lose. Right. It does. And I'm never going to say, like, it's okay to lose, because that's just not it. Mm-hmm. And that's not the mentality Coach Fisher has or anything. And honestly, Coach Fisher doesn't agree with me smiling after the game either. Mm-hmm. He's voiced his opinions, not on that specifically, but on how he doesn't like how players trade jerseys after games and stuff, and how they're smiling in pictures and stuff after games. He doesn't think that that's good. And so, I mean, we have differing opinions, but we're different people.
What do you think about that? I've always kind of been on both sides of the fence too. Like if I get destroyed, I can't imagine myself trading a jersey with somebody else. unless it was one of my boys. But I have taken pictures after the game though, and I didn't see a problem with it.
Yeah. LSU game after we lost last year, I was not happy because I knew what it meant.
Right.
I knew Coach Sumlin was gone. Mm-hmm. We knew that. We heard the rumors before the game even happened. Hey, if we lose this game, Coach Sumlin's going to get fired. Mm-hmm. I knew how much that game meant to him, and it meant so much to me as well because I grew up in Louisiana. I lived there for 6 years, and everyone's like, "Oh, you should have gone to LSU," and I'm like, "No, like, I'm going to A&M. Blah blah blah. I'm going to beat you guys."
Right.
And we go in there and lose, and I'm not happy at all. But Coach Ogeron's kids, and I grew up together. They were there.
Okay.
A bunch of my old friends were on the field because, we just knew each other and stuff. And I know a bunch of the LSU players, and so I took a picture with them, and I smiled and stuff in the picture. And
did it blow up?
No, it didn't blow up. It was just a normal thing. And then I walked off the field, and I was still mad, but I'm not going to let that determine how I treat my friends or people that I've known for a long time.
Okay.
I'm not going to treat them a different way just because, of an outcome.
I agree with that. I agree with that totally. Tell me this, too, because I haven't asked anybody else this on the show. So one thing I've been doing is tweeting during games and stuff like that, right? And I comment on a bunch of different games, not just A&M, but different games going on. And a couple weeks ago, I was watching UT play, or Texas. I was watching Texas play.
Right.
And I was cheering. Well, I wasn't cheering for him, but their running back made a good play. And I remember Trey Carson tweeted something that was like, "Hey, Keontae Ingram needs 20 carries a game." And so, I commented on it. I said, that's an East Texas boy because, we're both from East Texas, probably grew up about 25 minutes from each other. And so I always applaud people from East Texas or from my area, people that I grew up with or people that I'm friends with, despite what school they're at. What do you think about, things like that, supporting even – not the competitor, but supporting people from different teams. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, definitely. I support people from other teams all the time. One of my good friends is Dwayne Haskins, who's having a monster year.
Right.
And he's been waiting patiently for his time. I mean, he didn't start last year or the year before because JT Barrett was there, obviously. But he's a guy that I continue to keep up with. I mean, I'm in a group message with him. We were roommates again at an All-American game at the U.S. or at the Team USA game, and we keep up all the time. All the guys that were at the Elite 11 with me together, we have a group text. We cheer on each other, even if they transfer and stuff like that, or we play them. Like, we're still rooting for them. It's just, if we are going head-to-head that week, it's a little less talk, and we're not really, hey, good luck this week. It's just kind of business.
It's just like supporting your brothers.
Yeah, it's supporting your friends, stuff like that. You want to see your friends do good.
Right. Did you see this is kind of old, but did you see whenever HaHa Clinton-Dix caught that interception versus the Redskins, it dapped up the DB on the other team on the sideline? Did you ever see that?
No.
Okay, that's just what I thought about when you talked about supporting other people from different schools. But there was a DB on the sideline.
I don't know not if I'm playing. I'm sorry.
It was in the middle of the game, bro. He caught the interception. He was on their sideline. It dapped him up on the field. I was like, I've been playing some of my friends, and I'll leave him nameless. Let's say it was a running back for another SEC team, and he gets hit onto the sideline. Right.
And this is a guy that we've known for a while.
Right.
And we talk so much crap to him. Oh, we let him know we hate him.
Yeah.
Even though we love him, we let him know that we hate him. We say everything to him. And that's just being competitive and just not really messing around during the game, but like, hey, like, you're about to get it because we're playing you now. And so I don't think I'd ever dap someone up during a game. That's a little too far. But post game, I mean, you can be smiles.
Yeah, post game, social love. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Appreciate having you on, man. It's been awesome. You're good at this.
It's been pretty good to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, man. I got to get you back on sometimes, too.
For sure.
Most definitely. This is Nick Starkel, ladies and gentlemen. Nick, what is your name on Twitter so people can follow you?
Just Nick Starkel.
Just Nick Starkel?
Yeah.
Really?
At Nick Starkel.
I wish I could do that with my name. That's cool.
Probably could.
I can't. I tried it, though.
Oh, you tried it?
Yeah.
It's already taken?
Yeah. I'm stuck with JD3000, man.
JD3000, baby.
Hey, but follow Nick Starkel on Twitter at just Nick Starkel. Instagram, same thing?
Yeah, just at Nick Starkel.
At Nick Starkel. A lot of fun, man. Appreciate all you guys for listening. It's always a blast. You guys be sure to tune in for the next episode. Got another one coming out later this week. A big-time guest. Very big-time guest coming on. You guys be sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe to our page. I need those subscriptions, man. Come on. Give them to me, man. And I finally got the podcast up on iTunes, man. You know, I've been trying to be really open with you guys about that whole process, but they've been iTunes has been playing in my emotions, man. They've been pump faking me here and there. I'm like, come on. I thought I was gonna get on there, you know, last week, and they just kept playing my emotions. But now I'm finally on there. So you guys be sure to subscribe to that, like, rate, review. It's definitely big time. And you guys be sure, like I said, to leave a comment on the Twitter page or the YouTube channel about any topics you want to hear discussed or any players you want to hear on the show. Cool.
For sure.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Lots of fun. Peace.